And she's like, Ed, did you fucking touch my dolly? Goes, Sarah, I wouldn't touch your dolly. And she's like, yes, you did. And she starts like jumping on all of his stuff. She's like a fucking cat. Hello, I just wanted to thank you for clicking on my video. And I also wanted to let you know that not only do I create content here on Class in the Glass, but I also stream content in my Twitch channel, Mr. Revan7. I play single player games, multiplayer games, and I also do movie reviews and cartoon reviews as well. I also want to encourage you to check out my Patreon, Class in the Glass, where I offer audio commentaries, full reactions for movies, and also the ability to submit questions for my video casts and podcasts. In the meantime, thank you for watching and enjoy the video. I gotta get to this other review for Ed, and Eddy, chat. Gotta do my scene by scene breakdown, chat. Now, these episodes are typically, they're two-parters, chat. They're two-parters, one after the other, chat. Each one's about like 11 minutes long. The first one, chat, is the Ed Touchables. The Ed Touchables. Who touching the Ed boys, chat? I'm gonna tell you. By the way, I just love Ed and Eddy has like one of those super underappreciated openings, chat, because there's a lot of instrumental orchestra music like in these episodes. They do a really good job with it. Like every time like there's a little like expression, they play like a little bit of a music, chat. It's just so cool. Like how they're walking, you hear it, like the music and Ed and the whistling. Like the whistling in the opening, it's very simple. But it really gets you immersed in the world. I just love the tone they're able to establish. They do a very good job. The Cankers, we're gonna get to the Cankers. Oh, the Cankers definitely are always tough. By the way, the Canker sisters, like Canker sores, like an STD. There's some adult humor in the show, chat. Yeah, bro, listen. Highly recommend the new Hulu excuse. Oh no, I read that. Yes. Back to give it a lower than fuck you. I gave it a fuck you. I gave it a good old fuck. I mean, it's low fuck you. It's awful film. Awful film. But I just want to say, like, just in terms of underappreciated opening, chat, and just music in general, Ed and Eddy has really good music in the chat throughout all of their seasons. I really love it. A lot of people don't talk about that with Ed and Eddy. A lot of them, they focus on the animation, which is this. I love the animation. I think it gets better as the series goes on. It's you could definitely see it's inspired by stuff like, you know, things that were very popular of the time, like Ren and Stimpy. Ren and Stimpy, I mean, had such a profound influence on so many shows going forward over the 90s and early 2000s. But you just look at them. SpongeBob is influenced by Ren and Stimpy. A lot of those shows were, chat. And so, obviously, for its animation, its writing, its humor, its adult humor is great. But I'll give it a shot. The music, chat. I really think the music's underappreciated in the show. Just want to give a little shout out. You know, I even love how the opening where, you know, they're basically posing for the camera and they're always going off screen. Eddie's like, God damn it. He's moving the camera. And they're all fighting in the background. And Eddie's like, oh, he's like twisting the camera. And Double D's always nervous. It's like, oh, God, he has to position the camera perfectly. Establishes the personalities of the Ed boys, chat. You know, Ed, E-D, you know, he's an idiot. He's television obsessed, chat. You know, it's kind of part of that. Like, if he wasn't a stoner, he would be. Part of that kind of like stoner MTV generation, if you will. You have Ed, Double D, as he's called in the series, chat. You know, he's very book smart, very studious and things, a nerd. And you have Eddy, who is just a little shit. He's the scammer of the group, but he's the most charismatic, chat. Always coming up with the scams, chat, to scam the other kids of the cul-de-sac, chat, of Peach Street. Yeah, I just love how very different they are. And the voice actors do a great job, too. All the other characters, like Kevin and Jimmy and Rolf. Rolf, chat, who doesn't even appear in any of these episodes yet. You got Sarah and Jim. Jimmy's such an little asshole. Who was the... Johnny, yeah, Johnny, Chad, Johnny and Plank. Johnny's fucking insane. I'm the son of a shepherd. I wish I gotta do his voice. Son of a shepherd. That's right. We'll get buttered toast. I love chickens, Eddy. Like all that. And just, Ed, I will say, in these first couple episodes, especially this one, he's a little more articulate. Like he's not, I mean, he's dumb, but he doesn't get like really dumb. He doesn't have that like walled eye. The animation does go through some changes, chat. It gets more exaggerated, especially like Ed's face. Like Ed's face is weird looking to begin with, but he doesn't start to get that walled-eyed look. It's just like until much later on in the series. I think it's in season 1, but the animation is definitely noticeably different. It changes, I think, from season to season. It advances in a way. But chat, let's fucking open up with Ed, and Eddy, the Ed Touchables chat. By the way, the title cards, again, very reminiscent of Ren and Stimpy. They're always like, real, I don't know, it's like these... I don't know. It's like these Vincent Van Gogh type paintings, Chad. They're just really weird. Like they're always like they have like I guess it's focused on a specific object in the episode, and they have like these weird like hands and stuff or faces in them. It's like very Vincent Van Gogh inspired. I really like that though. I love like title cards. Like that's kind of stuff I would love to have in my house. Like I always loved like the Batman animated series title cards and stuff like that. And Eddie, very underrated title card, chat. But we open up, chat, and we are in Double D's room, chat. Ed with 2 D's, and he's doing one of his favorite activities, chat. Labeling. He loves to label things, chat. He has a serious case of OCD, Chad. I think his parents, they're the kind of parents that are always so oppressive. Like, you got to be the best of the best of the best, son. Be very studious, be smart, study every single day. Even when you nailed everything, you still study. And they've obsessed over him about him just being so studious that it's affected him psychologically and emotionally, chat. Where now it's to the point where even in his daily life, in his room, chat, he constantly labels things. Like he's labeling bed. And he has like this little controller that like prints out like tape with some words on it, chat. Bed. Takes it off. Boom. Bed. It's on the bed. Another one, fucking shoes. Puts them on each fucking shoe. Left shoe, right shoe. It's like, dude, you got problems. You got to take it easy. And he's almost done with all of his labeling, chat. Because as you know, chat, the labels, they start to peel. So he's always has to, fix them and change them as the weeks go by. But then, chat, he hears the doorbell ring. He's like, God damn, I was so close to being finished. And he walks down there, chat. And by the way, each of the Ed boys have a specific run. So Double D's is like this, how he runs. He's like little taps. And his arms are like this. Eddie's always like full front, like running. Just like, his ass is right behind him, chat. He's got the kind of that Trump waddle. He's going forward, and Ed is just like, it's like he's always like about to fall back. But I love how he's got tiny little legs. But I love how they did. I mean, not only do they look different, but like how they move is very distinct per each character. Like Eddie's tongue is always hanging out of his mouth when he's running. It's really cool stuff. But he goes down there, chat, and no one's at the door. He goes, and he goes back upstairs. Then ding dong, he's like, oh geez, oh God. And he goes down there, chat, and no one there. He's like, I think someone's playing a trick on me. And he goes upstairs again, and he opens the door. He's like, okay, who is it? And his fucking bucket of water falls on his head. He goes, wonderful. And he goes back up the stairs, chat, bump, 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 and all the music's playing, bump, 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 and then the ding dong. He goes, oh, and he goes back down the stairs. He opens the door. Boom, hit with a fucking fish. Someone slapped the shit out of him with a fish, yeah, right in the fucking face of a mackerel. And he's going, would you please stop bothering me? I'm doing my labeling. And he goes upstairs and bump, 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 ding dong. He goes, argh! And he gets the door and he opens it. And Eddie's like, what took you so long, Double D? And he's like, Eddie, was that you ringing the doorbell? You mean just now? Yes. He's like, yeah, but what about those other times? That wasn't me, dude. It was absolutely Eddie, man. Eddie's a bad friend. Eddie's a really fucking bad friend. And so he goes inside the house, going up to Double D's room. He's like, we got to go get Ed. And, like, oh, I'm almost done, Eddie. I just have to finish my label. He's like, Double D, really? And he's like, about to enter Double D's room. He says, Eddie, you got your shoes. And he goes, Double D. And he has to wear these slippers, which marked left and right. And he goes, and he puts them on. Throws him in there, and Double D's finishing his labeling while Eddie's just fucking fooling around, jumping on the goddamn bed, switching labels. And Double D's like, Eddie, I know you're switching the label. He's like, come on, Double D, we can get out of here. He's like, put them back, please. All right, Jesus. And he keeps mismatching him. Chad, instead of bed, he puts the toilet label on there. Fucking hilarious. He's like, we got to get going. He goes, I'm almost done, Eddie. The last one, magnifying glass. He goes, oh, God! Oh no, that can't be. He's like, what's wrong, Double D? And he goes over in the magnifying glass. It's gone, it's missing. You could see the dust. You could see the dust print it left. And he's like, someone has stolen my magnifying glass, Eddie. Eddie's like, I know Eddie gets a lot of shit, chat. He's like, he's coming there with the logic, chat. It's like trying to, this might be the simplest thing. Well, you think he didn't just misplace? He's like, why would you ever think that, Eddie? I would never misplace my magnifying glass. And he goes, well, listen, dude, maybe you can just find it later. Let's go ahead and go to Ed, and let's get some jawbreakers. And he goes, that'll make you feel better, won't it, Double D? He says, I suppose it will. And they fucking leave, chat. And then we see they get to Ed's house, chat. They get to Ed's house, chat, and he lives in his fucking parents' basement. which I imagine has led to his decrease in intelligence, chat, and motor functions, because he's just sucking in that asbestos and black mold, chat, down there. There's no doubt about it, and it has severely impacted his intelligence and motor functional skills, chat. And he's sitting in front of a fucking TV just static, and he's a little cross-eyed and shit. It's like, oh my God. And they go in there, and the thing is, like, Eddie, he sneaks through the basement window. He's going to get the drop on Ed. But Ed, he may have impeded motor functional skills, chat, and he might not be that smart, but he knows when Eddie's coming, chat. And right when Eddie's about to jump, he fucking grabs Eddie. He's like, how you doing, Eddie? And he goes, oh, Ed, your fucking pit smells so bad. And then, and Double D, he jumps in there, dog pile, and they all start wrestling, having a good goddamn time. They're joking off. You could tell, despite their differences, chat, despite them fucking with each other, they are good friends. They're rich, and he's the OG basement dweller, indeed. They still like each other, chat. Like, I'll say this. They're assholes, all of them, even Double D. He pretends not to be, but he kind of is. He goes with the scams all the time. But at the end of the series, they do redeem all the characters, which I thought was nice. You know, they do come out being better people at the very end, which I'm like, wow, I never thought you would do that. But it ends on a positive note with them. But here, they're not good people. But they're in there, they're roughhousing and shit like that. But then we hear the bum, 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 bum. Someone's coming down the goddamn stairs. And we hear it, chat. We hear, and he's like, what's wrong, Sarah? And it's fucking Sarah, Ed's little sister, chat. And she might be little, but she's got a big fucking attitude, and she can fucking clock you out, too. She can punch you right in the face, you'll be out goddamn. I'll tell you what happened to Ed. She's hit him so many goddamn times, chat. He's been concussed so many times, it's caused brain damage, putting too much pressure on the brain, so you keep abusing your brother like that. And she's like, Ed, did you fucking touch my dolly? He goes, Sarah, I wouldn't touch your dolly. And she's like, yes, you did. And she starts like jumping on all of his stuff. She's like a fucking cat and just ripping apart, like taking chunks. I love the exaggerated like bites and things. And we see that later on with like the jawbreakers are fucking huge and their cheeks are so grotesquely like inflated with the jawbreakers. But she's like biting huge chunks out of his bed and furniture. It's like, Sarah, I didn't take your dolly. I would never do that, Sarah. And she's like, you better have not done it. Someone touched my things. And we see Jimmy, you tell him, Sarah. You fucking tell him. Jimmy's such a fucking beta male. He is, chat, he's a goddamn simp. Jimmy is the original simp. This little fucking kid always needs, Sarah, help me, please. It's like, no. He was in orbit. Yeah. But she fucking leaves. And it's like, oh, geez, guys, that was dangerous. And, Double D's like, it's funny you say that, Ed. My magnifying glass was stolen. And Eddie's like, you know what, guys? I think there might be a serial toucher about. I think someone's messing with all of our stuff. We got to find it. We got to warn people. And we can get some quick cash for telling people about this. We got to find the guy. And thank you, Daniel Gormley. Thank you, Daniel Gormley. Howdy, Chris. Sorry I have not been here on live streaming sometimes. No problem. Looks like you're still doing it. No, it's been amazing, Daniel Gorman, especially this month. My highest viewership month of all time and my highest earnings of all time. People have been so incredibly supportive, and no apologies necessary. I know people get busy. Listen, whether you're here for an hour or the whole thing, a few minutes, every other day or weeks apart, no problem at all. I'm just happy to have you come back. Happy for you to be here. And thank you for your support. Nearly a year, Daniel Gorman. Nearly a year. 12 months. Thank you for your generosity. And Vic Hoop, thank you for the 100 biddies as well. Look at all the support coming in, chat. Thank you. He is the first simp, chat. At least that's the first simp I ever saw on television. There might have been others, chat, but he's the one that's like, you stand out. Like, you want to come like, you're something, you annoy the fuck out of me, Jimmy. But they're like, so Eddie says, we can make fucking money off of this, guys. And so they go out, and he gets a goddamn traffic cone. He goes, heary. It's like, there's a serial toucher about. Like, someone's touching like a diddler, chat. A diddler. But it's not a sexual kind. But no one in the neighborhood believes them, chat. Kevin, who's kind of the rival of Eddie, he's the cool kid, chat, who's always on his bike. He's like, see you later, dork. We don't believe you. And you also have Naz, chat. She's kind of like the blonde bombshell. They call it. It's like everyone loves Naz, chat. Kevin and her kind of in a, are they in a relationship? Are they not? You don't really know. But she's the one that's kind of has the most put togetherness out of anybody. Like, she has her head on straight. She's a good person. And you got other people walking by and shit. I don't know, Rolf might appear here. I don't recall Rolf being in this scene. I think he comes in later in the season. Then you see Johnny, you see this kid, this bald head kid with this plank of wood with a face on. He goes, ha, Eddie, you're silly. And it's like, what the fuck's that kid's deal? And no one believes him. But, Eddie, he's got a plan, Chad. He's a thinker. Eddie, he might not be the smartest guy, but he's street smart. He's not book smart, but he's street smart. He's like, we got to catch this guy in the act. How are we going to do that, Eddie? It's like, oh, don't worry. We'll use fucking Ed. Hi, everybody. And so what they do is, Chad, they fucking sit Ed on a log, and they put a do not touch sign on him. And Ed's like, Eddie, why are we doing this? Because the guy can't help but touch something. He loves diddling, and he's obviously going to diddle Ed. I like to be diddled, Eddie. I know you do. And so they put the sign on him, Chad, and they wait in anticipation. And then who fucking comes walking over, Chad? Fucking Johnny with his plank, his one best friend. This kid has fucking serious issues. Oh, you got, I did get a new job. You got a new job, Daniel Gormley. Congratulations. Let me raise my glass. I'm going to fuck my review. Let me go ahead and raise my glass. You congratulations on your new job. I hope it pays well. Hope you're doing well. Hope that's helping out with the bills and everything. Cheers and salute. May the wings of liberty lose a feather. You're shaking the pillars of heaven as we speak. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for mentioning that. That's very kind. Had some grade A whiskey. The wooden broad. Holy shit, that Ed impression on point. Thank you, Joey. Thank you. I know, I'm trying to, Eddie's hard to do. I think if I practice, I can do all the Ed boys, but Ed is like, I love chickens, Eddie. I can do Ed pretty well. Double D, I'm kind of okay at. Eddie's a hard one. Eddie's very hard. I'll master that someday. But Johnny, he walks over, he's like, what you doing, Ed? And Ed's just fucking sitting there, wall-eyed, not doing anything. And he's like, that's a nice haircut. And he looks at it and he's not touching. He's like, oh, Plank, you saying something? And Plank's saying nothing. Johnny's insane. I think he's been abused in some way. Like, all these kids have been abused in some capacity, maybe with the exception of Naz. But he believes this fucking inanimate object, chat, is talking to him. And maybe he is. I don't fucking know. Plank does some weird things in the series. Like, is that thing alive? We don't really know. I don't think he is, but there are some interesting things about Plank. But he's like, you want to feel his head, buddy? Okay. And he just starts fucking rubbing Plank against Ed's entire face. Not his head, Chad. His face. And then Eddie's like, pull the string, Double D. He's like, okay, Eddie. And he fucking pulls the string. All these fucking alarms are going. He goes, ah! Johnny starts panicking. And he's like, we got you. Johnny's like, oh, God, get away from me. You guys are weird. And he takes off running. Chat. But fucking, Eddie is like, Ed, stick him. I'll get him, Eddie. And he starts fucking chasing Johnny down. And they all hop over a fence, chat. Ed just goes through a hole in the goddamn thing. And eventually they do come upon Johnny, chat. They come upon Johnny and they knock the shit out of him. They're like, fuck you motherfucker. And they kidnap him. They kidnap him, Chad, and they drag him into a garage. I think it might be Double D's garage, depending on all the background stuff, because a lot of labels. So I assume it's Double D's garage. And they have him in the garage, Chad, and they have him fucking tied up to a chair, hooked up to some wires. Are they going to electrocute his balls or something? Is that what they're going to do? But no, the wires they have hooked up to him, Chad, it's a lie detector. And Eddie has a few questions for him. We'll know if you're lying, Johnny. And Johnny's like, oh, Jesus, God, I want to get out of here. He's like, you're not getting out of here. You're going to answer some of our goddamn questions. And he's like, have you been the one touching all of our things? Have you stolen Double D's magnifying glass? And have you touched Sarah's dolly? And he goes, no, that's not me. It's not me. And, Double D goes to Double D. He's like, tell me. And, Double D's like, inconclusive, Eddie, nothing. We got nothing. He goes, well, maybe we'll talk to your friend. And Plank's just sitting there, just stiff as a board, chat. And they got all the wires plugged into him. And Eddie goes up to Plank, and he says, all right, now, same question to you. Have you taken the magnifying glass or Sarah's dolly? And Plank's just sitting there. And Eddie's just like, you don't talk much, do you? And he just fucking winds up and backhands Plank. But chat, Plank has a defense mechanism. He's a block of wood. And as soon as fucking Eddie hits it with the back of his hand, fucking splinters all across. He's like, oh, Jesus, splinters! But then, all this is going on. Johnny's just like, leave him alone. Don't hurt him. He didn't take it. He didn't take the dolly. He didn't take the magnifying glass. But on the lie detector, fucking D's like, wait a minute. The board is lying. He does know. He's lying about something. And he's like, well, I have a way to make people talk. And so then he produces a squirt gun, chat. He's like, this will make you swell up real good. And he just starts squirting that gun, chat. at Plank, and all those drops of water fall on Plank. He's getting more and more bloated. But Johnny's watching this shit. It's like Chinese water torture. He's going, go, go. And the sound design, this is amazing. And he's like, Johnny's like, go. He has to go to the bathroom. He's filling up with water. His bladder is about to explode. He's about to urinate over himself. He's like, okay, I'll tell you the truth. It was me. I took the magnifying glass and the dolly. Just let me go so I can go to the bathroom. And they're like, aha! And then they have stuffed Johnny inside of a giant tire, and they're just throwing him out to the cul-de-sac to let him be, I don't know, be killed? I'm not sure. Torture him or whatever. And all the kids come back, and they all pay the Ed boys, and they're all excited, because they got paid in nickels, Chaz. Not until the series goes on that actually it changed to quarters. But they say here, it's actually one of the few episodes of the Ed boys actually get the Jawbreaker, Chaz. It's like, what's nothing like a good day's work, and a whole jar filled of nickels. And what costs a nickel? Jawbreakers. And they're all excited. But then Sarah, she comes over, he's like, hey, Eds. And they're like, what do you want, Sarah? And, she's like, Johnny wasn't the one that did it. And they're like, wait a minute, what? And Ed's like, what? No. He admitted to it. She goes, I found my dolly under my bed. And Jimmy's like, yeah, she did. It's like, shut the fuck up, Jimmy. No one's asking you. And then Double D's like, Eddie, actually, I misplaced my magnifying glass, as you said earlier. And he says it was in my back pocket, actually. And he's just like, oh, that's not good. And they're like, well, maybe we should go get Johnny. And Eddie's just like, nah, childhood trauma builds character. I should know. And then they fucking go get their Jawbreakers. Sarah and Jimmy, they get a hold of Johnny. And they think, they're going to help him out. But no, they're not. They just proceed to roll him down a fucking giant hill until he vomits and shits and pisses all over himself, chat. Horrible episode for Johnny. But then, the good old Ed boys, chat, they're enjoying their Jawbreakers. But then fucking Johnny, he comes rolling by, knocks them all over, and their Jawbreakers, as soon as their fucking faces hit the hard concrete, chat, boom! Jawbreakers start going down the block, and they spend the rest of the episode chasing after them, chat. And that, my friends, is Ed Touchables, Part 1. Episode 1A of Episode 1, but not the final part of this episode, chat, because we have a whole nother one to get to right now. Episode 1B, chat, Nag to Ed. In this episode, chat, Eddie and Ed, they are joining Double D on an expedition, one of his wildlife expeditions, chat. They're one of Double D's hobbies, chat, along with labeling things. He likes to collect insects and studies them and makes them breed. He likes to make them breed, chat. And he's like, that's fucking weird, Double D. And Ed's like, I find it quite stimulating. Eddie's like, I'm sure you do. And so they all show up there. And they're like, all right, let's go get your dumb bugs. They're insects, Eddie. He's like, it's the same fucking thing, Double D. Don't fucking patronize me. And, he's like, but we must wear our proper suits and attire. And he has all these, these fucking, beehive suits that he puts them in. He has these rubber gloves and shit. And Eddie's just fooling around. Ed's wearing his like a goddamn helmet, chat, like a fucking hat. He's like, look, it's a balloon, Eddie. And he's like blowing up with his nostrils until it fucking pops and nearly blinds. He's like, until it blinds him. Eventually, they go out into the wilderness, chat, and they're collecting all sorts of insects for Double D and things. Until they come upon a massive fucking spider web. It's huge. And Eddie's like, oh my God, I've never seen one that big before. And he's quite curious, the wonders and beauties of nature. And Ed has promptly crawled into it. It's like, look at me, I am a bug. I'm going to have my guts sucked out of my nostrils. And they're like, Ed, get down from there. You're disturbing the natural environment. And they're trying to get him down, chat. But they all get fucking wrapped up in the webbing. And this giant, massive fucking spider's crawling towards them like, ah! And eventually they freak out. They get out of there, chat. But they're fucking spinning the web. They're all confused. They're in the middle of fucking nature. And they finally fall. They fall into a giant mud pit, chat. Until when they fucking concuss themselves, they knock themselves out. And these three individuals, chat, come upon them. They come upon them and they drag them from the mud pit and they take them to the trailer park, chat. It's like something from Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It's fucking weird. It's fucking Bug Boy, right? So they drag him there, chat, but they fucking come to. They've been completely cleaned off, chat. Completely cleaned. Their clothes are gone, and they're in these bathrobes. And we're introduced, chat, to the three Canker sisters. They came to their rescue. The Canker sisters, whose names I forget off the top of my head. But their names, let's see here, chat, are Lee, Marie, and May Canker, chat. Now, I don't know if they're fucking related, but they have three dads. So maybe they all have the same mom. I assume they all have the same mom, chat, but they have 3 different dads, and they all live in the same trailer park. And I love it, chat, because it's canker sore. Like, like it's fucking STD, chat. It's like, oh my God, I can't believe they managed to get that past the censors. I mean, they changed the spelling around, but that's what it fucking means, chat. Chris Hansen helped very much. I need Hansen. He's a great guy. But they don't know what the Canker Sisters are. They don't know what they're about. And they come to you and they're like, where are we? And the Canker Sisters like, oh, we saw you poor boys. You poor boys. You fell in the mud pits out there. And we came and dragged you back into our humble abode, our wonderful trailer park. And we cleaned you up and you're wearing our father's robes. And Daddy's like, I wonder what that smell was. And they're like, what'd you say? He's like, nothing. It's a fine robe. And their dad's names are like Bubba, I think like Bo and Harold or something like that. And now listen, we're going to take care of you. You guys have been through a lot, okay? You just stay right there. We're going to prepare something special for you, okay? And they're like, all right, sure. And Double D's like, Eddie, I feel a little weird about this. I'm not familiar with this place or these young women. And Eddie's just like, don't worry about it, Double D. We're going to get a fucking free meal of it and we'll fucking take a hike. Don't worry about it. It's like, I love free food, guys. And like, we know you do, Ed. But then, chat, they notice some pictures on the wall. They're looking at everything. They're like trying to take in their surroundings and things. Ed obsesses over a turn of the century a diver's helmet, like something from Scooby-Doo. He's like, I like this thing. His fucking laugh is amplified when he has inside of it, when he's wearing it. And then they notice some drawings on the wall. They see Ed with one of the Canker Sisters, and everyone's like, oh, look at that. They're all laughing at him, and they see Double D with one of them. And then they see one with Eddie. With the final Canker Sister. And they're like, what is this? He fucking rips it off the wall, but then you hear the Canker Sister going, hey, boys, we got you some delicious powdered milk. And they're like, powdered milk? What the fuck? And they go over there, chat, and the powdered milk's out there, and they're like, drink up, boys. And they start drinking, chat, and they start belching, and it's like powder coming out of their just coming out of their mouths. And it's like, okay, now you 3 sit down here right now, enjoy this classic program. They put like some movie on which just like these fucking fish puppets, these cardboard fishes and everything, like fish fuckers too. You're gonna love it. Well, they go ahead and make their meals. And they're all going, the quickest way to a man's heart is through his arteries. And they make this fucking abomination food, chat, where the primary ingredients, of what I can tell, is lard, ketchup, mayonnaise, hamburger buns, Spam. I think Spam is one of the things that used in them, and cheese. Copious amounts of cheese, chat. And they make it. And they wheel these things out. It's like, here you go, boys. Our famous Canker Burger, which I would not want to eat a Canker Burger, chat. All government, as the Canker Sisters say, the finest in processed products. And they fucking go to town, chat. They eat all this shit. They're loving it. They're loving it, chat. But the Cankers, like, okay, you boys enjoy yourselves. We're going to get prettied up for you now. And they go upstairs, chat. All 3 of them. And then they come down wearing all these nice outfits. It's like, wow, the fucking Ed boys lucked out, but they're, they don't give a shit. They just want to eat their food. They want to drink their powdered milk, and they want to watch TV. And the Cankers are just like, hey, we did all this for you. You're not appreciating us. And they're like, can you move out of the way? We're watching the movie. And they're like, hey! And they get really fucking mad. And they're like, hey, okay, you fucking freeloaders, you think you disrespecting us after everything we took you in? We took you in, pressed you against our bosoms. And we cleaned you up, got us in your best robes. We gave wonderful drinks to you, food, and this is how you treat us? You're going to work. And then they put the fucking Ed boys to work, chat, fucking mopping the goddamn floors, doing the laundries, doing the dishes, cleaning the windows outside of all the trailers. They are putting them to goddamn work. And the Eds, they can't escape. They can't fucking escape. They don't know what to fucking do. They're like, I want to leave, but these women are very powerful. They have us by the balls. They got us by the balls. And eventually, they're fucking everything up, chat, because they're slamming into each other because the Canker Sisters are forcing so much upon them. They are doing a lot upon them, chat. And they're like, okay, listen, we're gonna leave now. We're gonna fucking leave. And it's like, you're not going anywhere until they're like, fuck, we will. And eventually they just fucking run out. They escape, chat. They just escape because they're just so traumatized by their experience. And the Canker Sisters, oh, I just love the way they run. Look at their tight little, and then just cuts. And it just fucking cuts. And that, chat, that, my friends, is Ed, and Eddy. Episode 1B, nagged to Ed, chat. But don't worry, the Kanker sisters will make their return. This isn't a one and done appearance. They will be with the Ed boys for all eternity, chat. Just like a Kanker Isn't that funny, chat? It's like, I get it. I get where you were doing. Ed and Eddy creators. But I hope you guys, Chris Hansen voice, take a seat. I hope you guys enjoyed my Ed and Eddy episode 1 review, chat. So good to watch the show again. It's so funny. It really is funny, chat. Just the humor that went over your head when you were a little kid, and it's like, wow, it was just right out there, just in plain view, but I was too young to understand the references, chat. It's amazing. Yeah. Don't forget that Ed ends up eating the burger with a straw. That's right. Yeah, at one point when they're eating the burgers, Eddy finds a gear inside of his and throws it away. And Ed just like, well, I'm just going to fucking drink this. He just drinks it like juice. It's so gross. Oh, throw in the bin. They love that ass. They love that ass, Glee. No doubt about it. Kankers out. They got a fetish. Like that Ed boy ass. But now, chat. Now, my friends, we got to do a couple more polls before we venture back into the video games. Glee with the Bitties, thank you. Thank you, Glee. Cheers to you. Very, very kind donation.